Hi there, I'm Kimberly with Beauty by Sewn, and we are going to get ready with me. This is a little bit more than my 5-minute regular go-to. I had those few extra minutes, wanted to show you how I get ready with a little bit more touch of glam. Okay, let's get started. You are getting ready with me where I have more than just 3 minutes. And I really wanted to sort of take some time to show you what I do. I am using a new foundation from Chanel. It's called Le Beige Healthy Glow Foundation. There is no SPF in the formula, so you do need to make sure, whether or not it's fall or winter, you're always applying SPF into your moisturizer. And I like using a big fluffy brush. So I have hydrated my skin. I've applied an eye cream, a serum, a sunscreen, and now I am applying foundation using this nice big fluffy foundation brush. I do take my foundation just to underneath my jawline to ensure that there's that smooth transition of color between my cheek and my neck. And I do apply foundation all over. So I do apply it under my eyes, over my eyelids, almost like an eye base, making sure also to get around my nose and that you can really notice that all over coverage. Now you saw I did 1, maybe 2 drops, and I've got that flawless, beautiful glow to the skin. Now what I like to do to continue that glow, because I find during October, November months, my skin starts to feel a little more blah, blah, blah. So I am using these Rosy light drops, and I take 1, 2 drops, and I actually use a flat foundation brush, which looks like this. And by applying color on both sides of the brush, I can then apply and sweep highlighter on top of the foundation. It won't, pill or ball, but for me, I do have that darkness under my eyes. So I do like to highlight the top of my cheekbones, a little bit on the bow of my lips, and really making sure, again, that highlight goes and extends past out to my temple. And then anything always left on my hands, I always then apply to the back of my hands. Now what I'm gonna do is I actually want to set my foundation, and I'm going to use a highlighter. So any type of highlighter, I'm still trying to hold on to a little bit of sun-kissed warmth. So you'll notice this bronzer has a golden touch. If you're more fair, then I want you to try a highlighter that is more of a pearly pink or a champagne color would be super pretty. If you notice when I apply highlighter, I keep it purely onto my cheeks. I do apply it on top of my lips. I do like the bridge of my nose, but I never apply it to the center of my forehead. I have a larger forehead that's shiny a lot of the times, so I like to just bring that highlight here to the outside of my brow area, and then I get that all over luminescence. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for blush. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I am #blushfairy, and I'm using a color called Pink Explosion. So this is my go-to color other than when I'm super tanned or away on holiday. And I'm gonna just use that same brush that I used to apply my illuminator. And I'm gonna smile and sweep the color from the apple of the cheek towards the back of my temple and blending down. And you can see I just get that super pretty pink flushy color. I do like to apply my blush and my lip before I do my eyes, because I find instantly when I look in the mirror, I feel a little bit more awake and pretty. Now this color is actually become one of my favorite go-tos, and I wanted to double check I knew the name because I do love it. It's called Light Rose, and it is an Ultra Tenue. It's a Rouge duo, so it is a liquid lip and it's long wearing. So I'm gonna apply the color first to my bottom lip. Then I'm gonna press my lips together. And then I'm gonna just perfect the bow of my lip. And you can layer it a little bit. Now, because this is long wearing, I like to let the lip color settle. Again, I do love this color for sort of this early fall or in spring. In the winter, I'll go even a little bit more blue pink, or I'll go to a bright red. But I just find this color a beautiful transition into those fall and spring colors. Again, in summer, I tend to go warmer, orangier, peachy tones when my skin tone is also warmer. And then also on the end, which is great, you can use this to touch up throughout the day because I find that this long wear lip color actually sits and holds. So now I'll just apply a little bit of gloss to the bottom lip. And we're set for the lips. Now for brows, I'm going to use the must-have brow product at Chanel. This is called Stylo Sourcils, waterproof, and I use it in a shade called 808. I'm finding I do like a softer brow these days, so the pressure I'm using is very soft, starting where I need it the most first, which is at the head of the brow and at the tail of the brow, and then using the spoolie on the other end. It helps to blend and buff the color together between the hair, right, the hair and the color. So just, again, making sure that I've got that soft definition. So you can see one brow with, one brow without. It's subtle, but it does make a difference, especially I find, I can't believe I'm closer to 50 than 49 now, but I find, again, just taking that time to make sure my brows are defined really helps to lift my features, helps my whole face to look lifted, and then doing a spoolie just to make sure that the color is blended between the brows and the hair so it doesn't look overly ornate. Now I am going to use one of my favorite palettes. This is called Warm Memories, and it's a eyeshadow quad. I like starting with the highlighter color because I find as my eyelids get older, along with the rest of me, I need a little bit of a sheen as a base because the skin on my eyelids is looser. So I find if I go straight for a matte, it's harder for me to blend. So if you start with this just soft illuminated base on the lid, so from the lash line to the crease across the whole lid, just as a soft wash of color, you're gonna notice that it'll make it easier to blend colors that are matte. So let's go for this very pretty sort of soft, warm plum. And I'm gonna start here at the outer corner, looking in the mirror and blending it with my eyes open to the crease and that outer corner. So again, just bringing the color from the crease to the outer corner, and you can see the colors just sort of melt together. That's the beautiful thing I find about these Chanel shadows, is that you really don't have to overblend. Again, the trick, especially as I get older, keeping my eyelid open will help me to see what the makeup look will look like even when my eyes are done. You can tilt your head back a little bit, look in the mirror. I'm actually doing this right now without a mirror, just to show you how easy it is to apply these colors. They really do almost melt together. Always step back, pull, look at your colors, see where you need a little bit more. I am gonna take this color I applied into my crease and just swish it along my lower lash line, just on that outer corner. Again, I don't like to bring color to that inner corner of my eye because I do have deeper inset corner. So I don't like to bring depth or color to that inner corner. So here it's almost like I am doing that little bit of the V and really just helping to blend it. So I'm gonna now step away from the palette and I'm gonna go for a liner, and I'm just going to tight line with a black liner. You can use a brown, you can use a gray, but I find for me, because I have super blonde, fair, almost not there lashes, I do like to use a black. So you can see here, I'm not even gonna look in a mirror, you just look down or you can look up into a mirror and you just go up into your waterline, which is right at the root of the lash. So again, you can take liner above your lash line if you want to. I find I don't like to make my liner look too heavy, but I do apply a little bit of color right at the root of the lash at the outer corner to help lift up my eyes. So if you have downturned eyes at all, you can apply liner at that outer corner and just make sure it phases into nothing around the center of your eyelid. And again, just little dots and dashes with a creamy longwear eye pencil. You will find it's almost goof proof. So if you can see, my liners aren't perfect, and don't sweat it. The trick is actually to have something like this eye contour brush, something tight and small. When I was at Bobby, we had a brush like this as well, and at Chanel there is this brush. It's great because what you can do is take a shadow that per se is darker. So I'm going with the darkest color in this Warm Memories palette, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just tilt my head back. Oops, I dropped a little, which is okay. And I'm just gonna gently smudge the top of that liner. You can see that. And you can see that it's creating that diffused color across the eyelid, and it's smoothing out any bumps I had along the liner that I applied, that black liner. So again, watch this. So I'm gonna take color on this brush, which is the eye contour brush, and there's the black bumpy liner. And now what I'm gonna do is I just gently pull back, and I'm going to smush the top half of the liner, and I bring that color, the powdered shadow, into that inner corner as well, and making sure that it comes all the way out past to that outer corner, blending back and forth, just sweeping the color back and forth very softly. Don't over pressure, just very softly. You'll actually get more payoff with softer application. And then just making sure here at that outer corner, I like to make sure that I'm getting that little bit of connection there with my top and bottom liner. And then a little trick I always do is I take my fingers and I just sort of pull back the edges to make sure that they're symmetrical. Now, again, one of those things, if you're looking to sort of lift, wake up your eyes, it's a lash curler. So most brands have a lash curler. This is Chanel's lash curler. I'm going to then gently squeeze right at the rouge, and then I pump the lash curler sort of at the root and then let go. So again, I'm looking down and pressing the base against the lid, and now I'm just pumping the curler right at the root. I don't know why, but I like to do it, I guess. And here we go. Now I'm gonna go for mascara. So I'll apply just 1-2 coats here while we're on air. Know that I do apply a lot more coats. I just love a good lash line. If you want a more natural look, don't go for a black. You can do a dark brown. You can do, again, a brown liner. You can do a softer smudge liner. So this is my more done up look. So you can see where I've got a little bit of a smudge with my mascara. Don't fret, just take a little brush, your eyeshadow brush, concealer brush, and just blend it and blend it. Now, speaking of concealer, I do find I've been liking to do it last, because when I look at myself with all my makeup done, I want to know that I might not need to apply as much makeup under my eyes. So I do love, love, love Look Correcteur, and I'm tapping and pressing color right to that inner corner where I do have that depth. And now I'm going to let it sit for a minute. And I'm not sure 100% why I like to let it sit. It's almost like I want it just to sort of settle or something. But in the meantime, this is where I do step back, and where I've always said to people, you know, step back, look at yourself in the mirror, see what you need to add to make everything perfect. So for me, I always take a little Poudre Universelle, so a loose powder, and I sort of micro blending. This is from a coworker of mine. She calls it micro powdering. I'm sorry. So I just apply powder. Micro powdering is basically applying powder only just where you need it. So for me, it really is that center of my face, around my nose. I don't like shine on the ball of my nose. I only like shine on the bridge of the nose, and then making sure that there is a nice sort of evenness to my brow area. And again, the center of my forehead, which is the shiniest. Now I'll go back and do the blending of the concealer. So this is a concealer blending brush. This side is a flat brush. And what I do like doing with the concealer is running it out at the outer corner, because that way I can see that my liner has that crisp edge. So again, I'm softly, very light pressure, bringing that concealer, making sure to get that inner corner, bringing it out to that temple so that the edge of my liner is up and out, not bringing it down, and then pulling it down a little bit to the top of my cheekbone. Now I'm just gonna buff the concealer, and I do like my concealer brighter. You know, with all the training I've had, I notice it just makes my face look that much brighter. And I just find when I do see makeups where the under eye is nice and bright, to me it just looks so much more fresh and awake. So if you don't love your concealer as bright, just go with a concealer that's the same color of your skin. And there you have it. So the video is just 15 minutes. I hope you found it helpful as you got ready with me this morning. Wishing you all the best as we are into this fall season. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate if you'd subscribe. Huge hugs. Have a wonderful, wonderful, safe day.